Every year in August, we plan an extended overland trip. Last year, our sights were set on the Washington BDR, but wildfires had other plans. With minimal preparation, we pivoted and pointed our rigs toward Idaho instead. Stretching from Jarbidge, Nevada to the little town of Port Hill, Idaho, and clocking in at just under 1,300 miles, the Idaho BDR is the longest single-state route, unless you count California's two-part BDR route. We set out to tackle the Idaho BDR from south to north, starting in the remote outpost of Jarbidge. Our ambition? Drive the entire thing from bottom to top. But we quickly learned that Idaho miles hit a little different. They're longer than they look on the map. Rated mid-range in difficulty among the BDRs, Idaho doesn't scream extreme at first glance, but what it lacks in technical challenges it makes up for in sheer distance, high elevations, and remote shelf roads. We learned a lot about ourselves on that ride, about pacing, priorities, and how we value experiences over endurance. Somewhere along the way, we accepted we wouldn't finish the route. Not even close. Section 4 alone is over 200 miles long. 2 days into it, and only part way, we rolled into Riggins, Idaho, and realized time just was not on our side. So that's where we ended our trip. Not in defeat, but with dreams to return. And so we would. Now, a year later, we're headed back to Riggins, ready to pick up where we left off and hopefully, finally, complete the Idaho BDR. It was midday by the time we got into Riggins, and we didn't have a lot of travel time left in the day, but we were determined to make the most of it. We jumped back onto the Idaho BDR route, Section 4, just about halfway through the section, where the route turns north from the Salmon River and heads back into the mountains. We stopped long enough to air down, and then we were on our way. At first, the going was really easy. Aside for some significant washboards, the road was a gravel highway heading up into the national forest. Soon, however, we started to climb, and climb, and climb some more. Before long, the road would remind us of where we were, the land of high country and windy shelf roads with magnificent, if not slightly terrifying, views. Once we reached the top of what seemed like the tallest mountain in the area, we made a turn off of the main road and onto a road somewhat less traveled, the kind of road that leads to more adventurous travel. Things were going along nicely, fairly easy travel, and then we came around a corner to discover a washout. Not terribly difficult, but definitely more exciting than the easy gravel roads we'd been traveling. Idaho, finally making us feel like we were earning it for a moment.
Sometimes love is a dancer in the dark, spinning, laughing, twirling through the back door of your heart. And every time I think of you, well, something happens in my mind. And every time I try to leave, I'm losing track of time. Losing track of time. Sometimes love is a thought. Sometimes it's alright just to be a little wrong, with no sense of consequence, the strength to carry on. The day breaks in the darkest place, right before the dawn. So if you ever situations in your mind, and you try to sleep it off, the night keeps on passing by. You're losing track of time. Losing track of time. Is a reason to hold on, blowing like a hurricane right inside of me. No blues or avenue take away my stride. Love standing holding hand right here by my side. So if you wanna take a ride and see what happens down the road, find yourself a pair of gloves and get yourself a warm-up coat. Oh, yeah, we'll be doing fine. Just losing track of time. Just losing track of time.
One of these days I'm gonna take this apart, get my shop vac after it. Just knocking some dust out of the air filter. Astros like to eat their own dust. We found the area that was being logged a year before and had been closed. It seemed to be open this year, although we found the map to now be somewhat inaccurate, and it led to some confusion that in hindsight was kind of comical.
You'll have to answer.
No.
Because I'm following what says it's the BDR trail.
Well, he's trying to back up and it's quite comical.
I see her. I'm good at the zigzag. Okay, according to the map, we are on the Yellow Pine to Elk.
Once we got our navigation sorted out, we'd wanted to stop and see the ghost town of Florence. But the way in was really marshy, and the makeshift bridge that someone had put in had failed. We might have been able to traverse it, but with the broken logs it seemed like an opportunity to break something, so we decided against it. Instead, we chose to visit the nearby Florence Cemetery. The town of Florence was established in 1861. As word of the discovery of gold in the area, a mining camp had an influx of miners and support people that swelled the town's population to over 9,000 residents. As remote as Florence is, it took a fairly rough and robust person to survive in this town. Drinking, gambling, fighting, robbery, and murder were commonplace in Florence during its peak. Many of the victims of the latter found their way into the large cemetery on Boot Hill. It wasn't until 1896 that the townspeople finally erected a small jail. Eventually, as the easy gold ran out, the miners' claims were leased to Chinese miners, and eventually the town dried up completely and was completely abandoned around the mid-1950s. The cemetery has been preserved, and a person can spend quite some time reading the many grave markers and wondering at what life must have been like for the residents of Florence. With the hour getting late, and after a very long day of driving, it was time for us to find a place to camp for the night. We were starting to get concerned that we might not find a place when this lovely campsite alongside a meadow came into view.
Alright.
Another day, another dollar. See if we can finish this section today.
Oh yeah, we better.
It's like the 4-day section.
No kidding. Only.
Well,
It's a 200-mile section, so
at an average of 10 miles an hour, that's 20 hours of driving.
Yep.
yeah, we don't usually do 10 in a day,
No.
No.
so it's at least 3.
We've already been on it for.
But you saw those guys coming through there on the motorcycles. They were,
Well, yeah,
Oh
I mean-
man, they were hustling.
If you can do it at 35 miles an hour, you can get the sections done a lot faster.
maybe we should be standing up while we're driving the van.
Oh, you think that would help?
Maybe we could go faster. Of course, by the time we got to camp, everything we vanted looked like you picked it up and shook it.
Pretty much.
Pretty much does anyway.
I was gonna say, I mean, and that would be different how?
I did bring cheese. I forgot to get it out.
No cheese for you then.
I'll survive.
You sure?
Okay.
Now we clean up and we pack up and we get the flock out of here.
Yep.
Get on the road.
Get this section done. Get ready to do the next one. And by get ready, I mean start down that trail.
I've been searching in the dark, trusting every clue I found. But the truth has not been told, 'cause every corner of these woods Sometimes light is breaking through, but my blinded eyes can't reveal an illusion. I can't trust it being real, so I keep on wondering until I feel that you're alive.
As the roads grew steadily more and more improved, we knew we were getting closer to civilization. Soon we found ourselves on a 2-lane highway, and that would take us the last 30 miles or so into Elk City, which is the end of Section 4 of the Idaho BDR. Finally, after 3.5 days spread over 2 summers, we finally completed Section 4. But the day isn't over. We stopped for fuel and then back on the road again. Our next adventure would be a 100-mile trek across some of the most remote spaces in the lower 48 states, called the Magruder Corridor. But you'll have to tune in later for that adventure, because this is where we'll leave you for now. If you've made it this far, why not give us a thumbs up? Even better yet, leave us a question or comment. We love interacting with our followers. If you've enjoyed this video, you should consider hitting that subscribe button, and while you're at it, hit the bell as well. That way, you'll be notified whenever we post new content, because we're not the kind of YouTubers who post content regularly. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope to see you join us on the Magruder.
Is the river